Okay, so we're going to get started. Just wanted to start with some webinar reminders. So if you could please keep your microphone muted for the entire presentation, so that way we don't have any background noise or anything like that for when the presenters are speaking. That would be great. We do have the chat function available if you'd like to submit some questions in the chat. Obviously, you want to make sure that those questions are not super specific to your own individual, case. But if you have specific questions about your own individual experience, or and you want to get, some more information, you can always email us directly at dcuglobalrecruitment@dcu.ie. So feel free to throw questions in the chat, but we will answer any specific questions via. So today we have representatives from the DCU Global Recruitment Office on the call. So the first is myself. So I will be moderating the call today. My name is Colleen Griffin, and I am the Senior International Recruitment Officer for North America. And my email is just on the screen there. And thank you so much for joining us today. And then my colleague, Tiago, is also on the call. So he will be kind of looking over the chat and jumping in if there's any questions. And so he's the International Recruitment Officer for Latin America and Southeast Asia. So thank you so much, Tiago, for being with us this morning.
No problem. Thank you very much, Colleen. And hi, everybody.
Thank you. And today from the Student Support and Development Office is our presenter, Hazel Maloney. So she's a Student Support Officer in the Student Support and Development Department here at DCU, and we are delighted to have her with us today to talk a little bit more about the student support and resources on campus here at DCU as a DCU student. So now that we've done a little bit of intros and just a little bit of housekeeping about keeping things muted, we'll move on to the presentation. So before we started, just kind of wanted to do a quick screen grab there of the Student Support and Development website, and then the link is just below as well. So if you have questions after this, or kind of want to peruse a little bit more about their department, this is their kind of their homepage here on the DCU website for you to get a little bit more information. So to kick things off, then I will pass it over to Hazel. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Colleen. Thanks, Tiago. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. We're delighted that you are considering DCU. So I'm here today to present to you the work of the Student Support and Development Unit here in the university. And as you can see, our mission statement is we offer each student advice, support, and development opportunities to help them reach their academic and personal potential. So this is a service which is here to support all students from all faculties, and we work individually and in groups with students depending on their needs at any particular time. So here's a list of the SS&D services. Some of them will be of more use to international students than others. And of course, some of them will be of more use and of interest to you individually than to others. So for example, the student advisors offer academic, personal, and professional advice. So we have staff here who will answer your questions about student processes, how to deal with the administrative side of the DCU experience. We're here to talk you through, I suppose, the bureaucracy of being in a university. So we have extensive experience in all the issues that students will have, whether it is difficulties with particular courses, with repeats, all of those issues that can happen as you are trying to settle in, get yourself settled in a university, and also throughout the 3 or 4 years you might be here as an undergraduate, or the years you might be here as a postgraduate. We also offer life coaching. So we have qualified life coaches who are here to help you get focused on your personal and professional life. And one of the formal courses we offer in life coaching is called Pathways. That's in its 2nd year, and it's proving very successful. You can also have an individual meeting with a life coach if you do feel that you're not entirely sure you're on the right path, personally, academically, professionally. And we're more than happy to help support you with that. SS&D also manages the orientation through Discover DCU, which is an online and on-campus experience for all students new to the university. So as new DCU international students, you will be offered, of course, the general orientation, which is offered to all incoming students. But we also offer you an international orientation, which is events and information sessions specifically for international students to help you get properly settled in the first couple of weeks and to plan the rest of your academic year. We have advice for mature students. So a mature student in Ireland would be considered any student over the age of 23 who is starting an undergraduate degree. That might be more unusual with international students. Typically, international students don't fall under that particular criteria. But if you do, if you're an older student and you're starting university, we have a mature student officer who will help to guide you through your particular challenges as a mature student. We give advice on finance, how to budget while you're in Dublin, what to expect from the cost of living in Dublin, and there are some supports if you find yourself in a challenging position. We have healthcare services, which include a nurse-led service here in the university. We have 2 nurses on staff in Glasnevin and a mental health nurse, and they're absolutely superb. And we can refer you on if you need more involved healthcare from a doctor or a hospital. So the healthcare services here in DCU are quite sophisticated. So we also offer counselling services. So if you're finding that you are your mental or emotional health is being challenged by the circumstances you might be in currently, or if things you find that things from the past have begun to raise their heads, we have a very extensively staffed counselling service. We have disability support, so you will need to register with our disability office if you have a physical disability or a learning disability, and there's a lot of supports there for that. Our disability team are superb. And spiritual guidance, we have chaplains on the staff here. They're very involved with students of all faiths and none, from students of all backgrounds. And we have an interfaith centre on the Glasnevin campus in which people are welcome to practice all faiths in a very supportive environment. And finally, we have the clubs and socks activities. So DCU has a very, very busy university supported number of clubs and societies. So the clubs tend to be more sports based, and the societies tend to be more, I suppose, arts based and based on people's interests. So you have everything from traditional Gaelic games to football to all manners of sports clubs. And in terms of societies, you have everything from traditional music to philosophy to politics to science fiction to, I believe there's a Taylor Swift society. So it's a very, we offer quite an extensive services, as you can see. So if you do find yourself needing advice from a member of staff here, you can come to us in the Student Advice Centre. So we have 3 campuses, and we have a Student Advice Centre located on the Glasnevin campus and also in the St. Pat's campus, which is within walking distance of the 3rd campus, which is All Hallows. So we can give you advice and guidance on all matters academic, personal and financial. And that can involve any kind of an issue you might have. We mightn't be able to deal with your particular issue on the day, but we will refer you on to the people who can. And that will involve a confidential one-to-one meeting with a member of staff here, student advisor, and it's provided to the entire student population. So it doesn't matter what level you are. You could be a PhD candidate entering your final year, and we will be more than happy to sit down and discuss challenges you might have. You might be just in the door to a week or two settling into your first year as an undergraduate or your postgraduate year studying for your master's, and we can support you with that. And the international supports include myself, of course, so I'm the dedicated international officer, And we're aware of the particular challenges that international students face, including accommodation and visa issues and so on. And we will help with that as much as we can. So check out dcu.ie/advice for more information on what we do in the Student Advice Centre. And here are some of the resources. So these are all downloadable: the A to Z Guide to Life, the Parents Guide, Discover DCU, You and Healthy Eating, Nutrition while at university, Sports and Wellbeing, and the DCU policies. So you have an idea of what the DCU policies are. These are all very valuable guides. I think for international students, the Discover DCU and the Healthy Eating are actually particularly relevant. We do find that students who come from particularly non-EU countries do tend to find the Irish weather a little bit challenging, and there isn't a lot of sunshine here, for example, so your vitamin D resources will get depleted very quickly. So this is where the nutrition comes in, and the health centre nurses always ask me to remind international students that you need to take vitamin D supplements and to eat well, because in such a different environment, you will find yourself getting run down very quickly. But all of these documents are extremely useful and worth checking out. So the Counselling and Personal Development Service. So as I mentioned, we have a counselling service. It is free, and we have 8 counsellors on staff, 4 of whom are fully qualified and 4 of whom have completed all of their studies and are currently working towards completing the required number of hours to become full-time qualified counsellors. So we have an excellent counselling service here in DCU. So we offer one-to-one counselling on many issues, help in times of immediate crisis as well as long-term crisis. If you check out the website there, dcu.ie counselling, you will see that there are many workshops and resources for helping you to manage your own mental and emotional health while you're in DCU. And there's a series of lunchtime webinars and in-person workshops dealing with mindfulness, stress reduction, all that sort of thing. And we also have a life skills program and a student empowerment and life skills program, which is well worth checking out. So the DCU Counselling and Personal Development Service. For disability supports, we have an excellent disability office. They're very student-centred, very focused on making sure that the students with disabilities have as typical a student experience as any other student on campus. So it's a multidisciplinary service and supports students with who are neurodivergent, and we're actually an autism-friendly university. We have an excellent autism officer, Fiona Early. She is an outstanding colleague and extremely student-focused. If you are a student with additional needs, we can offer practical supports, academic supports. There are assistive technology workshops. So if you find certain things challenging, if you join the AT workshops, my colleague Trevor will walk you through different technology supports which can really assist you in minimizing the impact that your disability might have on your studies. And finally, the Disability Office offers exam supports. So if you are a student with, for example, dyslexia, and you need extra time to complete essay-based, written-based tasks, then by registering with the Disability Office, you can find out about the kind of exam supports that will be offered because of your unique situation. So do please check out dcu.ie/disability. Student learning, my colleagues Alethea and Serge are the masters of making sure that students have the right skills to help them with their learning, with essay writing and with passing exams. So you may find that the transition from your current level of learning to the DCU standards a little bit challenging, just because moving from one university system to another, or moving from second level to tertiary level, can be challenging. And the Student Learning Office gives students the opportunity to improve their study skills. So you can learn how to write essays to a certain standard. You can learn about critical thinking, critical writing. There are boot camps for exams. So if you're feeling stressed that don't feel fully prepared for the exams, you can join one of the boot camps, and Alethea and Serge will run you through all of the preparation and organization and the discipline that you'll need. It's an absolutely fabulous service. If you're having difficulty with your writing skills, that can be key to success in university, as well as your math skills. And it's for people of all abilities and all challenges. A lot of people are not correctly diagnosed with certain difficulties with reading and writing and math, so they can be of extra help if you feel that you need that. So do check out dcu.ie student learning. The career service can be an essential reason why students do come to DCU to study. DCU is well known for producing highly trained, highly focused graduates. And one of the reasons for that is we have an excellent career service. So the career service will help you as you move into your final year in your course, or if you happen to be doing a one-year master's, the career service will engage with you from the very beginning of that year and get you prepped throughout the year for your next steps to your professional life after graduation. So you can build career service with the digital toolkit. You can participate in workshops on every step of the job and career development path. You can have one-to-one appointments with our experts, and we also run career fairs and give you different opportunities to meet with recruiters from very prestigious organizations at different points throughout the year. And there's also a wide range of careers listed by the career service. And I was actually speaking to some of the graduates of the university recently who had graduated in the last year. And I was asking them, well, how did you find your job after you graduated? And more than one said that they had found a job that they had never considered via the My Career DCU Careers platform, where a job was listed and they were recommended by our experts to apply for it. And it changed their lives. Just really interesting, odd, and very useful jobs where they're earning decent money and on a very interesting career path. So that is a big advantage to attending DCU. Please check out dcu.ie/careers.
Thank you so much, Hazel. Thank you so much for that, overview of student support and development and all of the useful resources for students to go back and kind of take a look at the different websites and resources that are available online before they arrive here to DCU. So for right now, we're going to take any questions, Tiago, that may have come in through the chat that Hazel can answer if there's been any questions.
Hi, Colleen. Actually, on the chat, there's just one question, and it's asking if the students are supposed to enroll on the graduate roles. I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to ask now, or just when they started the course. So I assume he's talking about those services, career service and things like that, but I'm not sure.
Oh, right. No, you can wait until you start your university experience to start getting involved in that sort of thing. So careers will reach out to you and give you instructions on how to enroll.
Does anybody have questions? I think it was the only one on the chat.
Okay.
Oh yes. There is any course or workshop to help improve public speaking and presentation skills?
I actually don't think there is that is a very good question. I will ask my colleague Alethea about that. I don't think there's specifically one about presentation skills and public speaking skills, but I'll certainly suggest it to them, and that might be something they could develop for the coming year if it doesn't exist already. It's a great question. Thank you, Neelish. Transport services to reach campus. Yes, DCU is very well serviced by several bus routes. So depending on where you live in the city, it's actually very, very easy to get to. Buses pass the university 3 or 4 every 10 minutes. So there's a bus literally passing the university every couple of minutes. Very, very easy to get to. Tiago and Colleen, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think it's as I said, it's very well served. It's very easy to move around. So,
Exactly. Yeah. Whether you're coming from the city center or going out to the city center or around the surrounding neighborhoods, it's really accessible, the campus. So it's great.
Clubs and societies. Oh, clubs and societies are have a there's usually a clubs and socks week at the very beginning of term. Like I think it's usually week 2 of term, where the clubs and societies all gather in I believe it's the U building.
I'm not sure if it's my internet. No, I don't think so.
I think it's Hazel, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But just to kind of pick up where she left off there, and she might be able to join us back in again. But yeah, there is a clubs and societies week where you can, see all the clubs and societies that are offered here. And Hazel mentioned, they run the gamut of, academic based and,
Yeah.
fun, sports, I think there was a Harry Potter one and like she said, a Taylor Swift one. So, you whatever your interest is, I'm sure there is already a club and society. If not, you can always start one too. So yeah, so I think at this stage, there's over 120 different clubs and societies on campus. So you'll
Yeah.
never be bored if you, put yourself out there and, and reach out to them. So definitely highly suggest attending that week that Hazel was recommending there. But if there's no other questions, Tiago, and especially now that we've lost Hazel.
No, she's back. She's back.
Oh, she's back. Okay.
I will just answer 2 questions here, and then I
Sure.
think the others are for Hazel actually.
Okay.
So there is one asking here, can we start working without the your PPS? No, you cannot. So just bear in mind that when you come to Ireland, you will not be allowed, although you are allowed to work 20 hours a week, you will not be able to start working straight away. You have to apply to your PPS first, and then when you get your PPS, you are allowed to work the part-time. So that's very important. And regarding the student card, that's very easy, very straightforward. After you are here, you can apply for the student cards. There is some specific centers where you can go even inside some universities, and I think you can do online as well now. So, okay, so I think there's one for Hazel here. If we talk about the placement, is this true that a local Irish candidate will be given more preference?
I've never heard of that happening. That would be illegal in Ireland to favor somebody because of their nationality or ethnicity. There is discrimination laws against that, equality laws. So no, and within the university is extremely conscious of making sure all students are evaluated based on their ability, their exam results, and how well they do in the particular circumstances. So no, Irish students will not be favoured over international students here. Absolutely not. It's both illegal and against the code of ethics and the culture of the university.
Yeah, very good. And then there's another question. Has all those student service support, does the student apply that physically on campus, or there is an online link where they can go and apply for those servers? How that works?
I believe that the online students should be able to avail of the same services as the on-campus students. Of course, clubs and societies would be more difficult to arrange, but counselling and things like that. I don't know about the health service, actually. I'm not sure if that would be available online, but certainly the other services should be, yeah.
Very good.
I see a question there about help and support for part-time jobs.
Yeah.
We don't directly help and support students find part-time jobs. The Students' Union, though, has lists of jobs that will be available. So if you want to look up DCU Students Union, DCU SU, you will find information about that there.
Very good. So yeah, and then there is a question regarding the DCU careers, if it's just for undergrad or students on master's levels would have
Master's
the
level
same
also, absolutely, master's level also, for sure.
Very good, thank you. So yeah, sorry, Hazel.
Oh, I was just going to say, I just see a question there about the teaching hours in the university. Typically 9 until 6 o'clock, and depending on your course, you could have 10 hours teaching in a week. You could have 30 hours teaching in a week. It really depends on your course, but it would be between 9 and 6 every day.
Very good,
but not all day, every day, obviously.
Yeah, very good. So there is a question here regarding internship. If there is a internship in a master's level, and I can tell you no. The master, it's just 1 year full time, so it's just not possible to have internship in them in the course, but you are allowed to work part-time if you have time and all of that. But we don't have an official internship program as we have on the undergrad level. So the portal for part-time jobs, Hazel already explained. The student union has can we take part of multiple clubs and societies? I assume so, but Hazel,
Absolutely, as many as you find of interest. What might happen is you might like sign up to 6 or 7 clubs and societies, and as the year goes on, you'll find yourself attending maybe 2 or 3 because you've made better friends in a particular club or society, you know. But you can apply for as many as you like. There is a small fee, typically about €5 or less. But like you get there's lots of things that you get for that, like there's tea, coffee events, that kind of thing. So
very good. And then there's a question here, Hazel, that you might know. So they're asking if a postgrad student, if it's mandatory to attend in any orientation session.
Okay, so I'll just speak a little bit about orientation since I think it can be of interest. So the postgraduate and international students are all being oriented on the week of September 4th. Orientation will take place throughout September, but the international portion will be the week of September 4th, because postgraduate courses are starting on September 11th. Now, I know that some of you may be confused because some undergraduates may be starting 2 weeks later. So first year students who are undergraduates will be starting 2 weeks later. But if you're a postgraduate student, you need to be here by September 11th for the beginning of your classes. So you should be arriving into the country the weekend before, so September 9th, 10th at the latest. So for orientation, the Tuesday, the 5th of September is going to be the online orientation. There will be sessions dedicated to international students. All of these sessions will be recorded. So if you don't get to attend online, you can consult them later. I'll send you all the addresses that will be the addresses of where the videos are held. So they will be made available. And none of the orientation is mandatory, so you don't absolutely have to come that week. There will be a couple of on-campus events which you might like to go to. They'll be more social than, you know, necessary. I do think you should watch the online orientation live if at all possible, because it will have essential information that you will need. But it's not compulsory to attend live, but you do need to watch the videos if you can't do it live on Tuesday, September 5th. So I hope that explains the orientation. You can look up the DCU academic calendar for dates. So if you just Google DCU academic calendar 23-24, you will see the dates of orientation. There's also an orientation webpage that I have created for international students, and that's available at dcu.ie/students/international orientation. And I'm sure we can share that address with you so that you'll be able to look it up easily. I hope that answers your question. It's not compulsory, but you do have to be on campus by September 11th if you're attending a campus-based course.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hazel. And I think most of the questions now are, some of the questions are very specific questions, guys. So I would ask if you have a very specific question to send us an email to the DCU Global. I'm going to add on the chat here, and then it's easier for us to give you a proper answer. So there's a lot of questions here, Hazel. If you know, like how long it takes to actually get the PPS or something like that.
That I actually don't know. I don't know how long it can take to get your PPS, I'm afraid. Try to get your paperwork in as early as possible. You will probably need a letter from the university, and the where you can request that letter is an email address, internationalletters@dcu.ie. That's through registry. I think Tiago and Colleen are probably already aware of that email address in case anybody asks you after this meeting. I'm sorry, I don't have a timeline on that. I don't have a lot of experience with the PPS numbers.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But what I can tell you guys, it's give yourself at least a month in terms of planning, okay? I don't believe you would be able to actually get before that. And then it's more questions again about clubs and society, but Hazel are already explained.
I see a question here about how to reach out for student services and advice. Should it be online or on campus? Either. So you can email student services at student.support@dcu.ie. That's student.support@dcu.ie. And that will bring you straight to us, and we can triage your query and direct you to the best source. Or you can pop into us in person. You're very welcome to come into our offices and make an appointment directly with our staff face to face. So whatever you prefer.
Very good. Thank you, Hazel. And then there's a few questions here. If there is any study skills webinars before the classes start?
I don't know. The best thing to do would be to consult the SS&D website and look for upcoming events. Nothing is available now for September. We haven't updated the schedule for September now. But if you want to get a head start, and you can absolutely sign up in the first weeks of term for those classes, no problem.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Hazel. I think most of the questions now are very, very specific, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I think just to answer a few of them here, asking about registration. The registration will be online, okay? So, and you will get an email with all the information how to do it. And there's a few questions here about asking about if you have an European passport, if you are allowed to work more than 20 hours. And yes, you are with an European passport. You don't require visa, okay? And I think that's it. I think all the rest we can reply by emails.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Tiago, and thanks so much, Hazel, for going through all those questions. And Tiago will put our email in the chat again for you. So if you had a specific question, you can shoot it over to us, and we'll make sure to triage it to the right department to answer that for you. And I know Tiago just mentioned a question actually about registration, which is a great segue to talk a little bit about some of our upcoming webinars. So a huge thank you to Hazel today and Student Support and Development for sharing all of those resources. And then next up will be career services and employability. So I know there's a few questions today about that. So on the 27th of July, we'll have a representative from the Career Services Office to talk a little bit more about those resources in detail, and a little bit more about where some of our alumni and students are working. And then on August 10th, we'll have a representative from our registry department talk in more detail about course registration, like Tiago was just talking about there. some reminders and some frequently asked questions. So highly recommend attending that if you have, questions about registration and kind of just to prepare yourself for registration for classes. And then the last webinar, as you get ready to arrive to Dublin, we're going to do a kind of a prepare and plan for arrival to DCU. So just some reminders about, how to arrive here, getting settled, immigration and all of that. So kind of to wrap up our summer webinar series before you arrive and join us here on campus. And so if you haven't been able to attend some of our previous webinars this summer, we do have a recording of all of them on our website. And we will have this webinar recorded and posted there. We'll send you an email once that's available. But I highly recommend checking out our website and watching some of those previous webinars. We had them about immigration specifically. We had a really great student panel webinar with some of our student ambassadors talking about their life here on campus. Some information about accommodation as well. So definitely recommend checking out our webinar series recordings and making sure that you register to attend some of these upcoming webinars for the rest of July and August. So just wanted to send again a massive thank you to Hazel and Student Support and Development and Tiago as well. And for everyone this morning, this afternoon, or wherever you are in the world in your time zone for joining us today. So Gurmahagath is Irish for thank you. So we really want to thank you for your time. And again, if you have specific questions after today, please feel free to reach out to us in the email that Tiago put in the chat, and we look forward to you joining us in some of our future webinars. And more importantly, we look forward to welcoming you on campus to DCU in September. So thanks again, everybody, and thank you for your time.